Hi folks, it's just gone 6 p.m. on the 26th of the 7th, 2020. This is about the Man United game against Leicester. 2-0 in the end. So Leicester 0, Man United 2. Oh dear. It wasn't a great game in any way, shape or form. I have to say, two of that muck up right at the end that gave Lingard the goal. Lingard. Hopefully, this doesn't mean Lingard will stay because he scored a goal. The board might start saying, "Oh, Lingard's on form again. We don't need to sell him, do we? We can keep him." Which means we don't need to replace him. It's like finishing third. United have just squeaked in. Again, before Lingard's goal, that really was not earned. It was a complete muck up by Leicester. United's only goal was for a penalty again. Penalty spot rescues us again because we can't score from open play. That's the reality. Rashford again, really poor today. He played a good ball through. That was it. Gary Neville himself was commentating and saying about Rashford. Rashford's just standing there. He's not making the runs. Bruno made a run forward for Pogba to tip the ball over. Rashford should have been doing that all game. He wasn't. During the game, what could they say about Rashford that was good? The only thing they said is that he was doing all that work for charity during the lockdown. Why did they mention that? Because from the football side, he was terrible again. Really, ever since lockdown, he's been poor. This is Rashford. This is, as I say, why I would let Rashford go. I'd sell him. Somebody wants him? Yeah, you can have him. Take him now. Give us a decent amount of money so we can use that money to buy better quality players. But it's either Rashford or it's Ollie. One or the other. If Ollie's telling Rashford not to make the runs, then Ollie has to be sacked. Simple. Because Ollie is coming out publicly saying, as a team, we play attacking football. Then telling the attackers not to attack. Right? So it's either that or Ollie's telling Rashford to attack, telling Rashford to make those runs to get in the space, and Rashford just isn't doing so. In which case, he has to go. In which case, he has to be sacked. If he can't do what his manager is asking him to do, he has to go. Simple as that. There's no room to muck around there. You've got to say, for talking about just the game, it didn't look really as if either team were trying to win, or that either team were wanting to win. They were. Certainly, I was watching Man United players. It looks as if they were pre-season. That's what we were seeing. The passing, the control of the ball, the movement was all very much as if they've had the whole summer off. They've come back a bit rusty, and they're trying to get into it again. And I'm thinking, excuse me, you're not pre-season. You're at the end of the blasted season. You're at a point in the season where you've got to be given it all. You're playing as if it's pre-season, as if you've got a whole season ahead of you, and you're making your mistakes now because it's pre-season, so it doesn't really matter. You're just getting into the mindset of playing football again and getting match sharp and everything. Excuse me, they should be match sharp now. And as I say, the passing was lax. Matic nearly gave a fantastic goal scoring opportunity away with that awful pass that went to the Leicester player. Just wasn't even looking. It was the usual sideways pass. It assumed that the player would be there for the sideways pass. Why? Because that's what he does. The commentators all through the game were saying about the wingbacks. How the wingbacks were just playing it sideways every time they got the ball. It's sideways passing, backwards passing, sideways passing, backwards passing. And that's exactly what the opposition wants you to do. You keep changing flanks. You keep knocking the ball from one side to another. But when it gets to the player on the other side, all they do is knock it sideways or backwards again. They're not really trying to get to the time when we were most dangerous. That penalty, where did that come from? A quick ball to the striker. A quick ball to the striker. They had no choice but to foul Martial in the box. It was a good ball. It was exactly what we needed. We saw it in brief parts of the game. Pogba getting forward. When Pogba got forward, things started to open up. But most of the game, he was way too deep. Now, again, why? I mean, the point of it is, Ollie has no excuses whatsoever for the way the team is playing. Usually, pre-lockdown, the manager had half time to have a chat with the players. Now, the manager has quarter time, half time, three-quarter time to chat with the players to get through what he's saying. Right? Any quick instructions needed? Bang, there you go. 2 more chances to do that. Yet, did we see the changes in the game that we needed to see? No. No, it was just occasional, quick passing, but really most of it was dull, boring, sideways, backwards passing that really did nothing. Greenwood had nothing today to work from at all. Nothing at all. He was making the runs. He was trying. He was coming deep to get the ball because nobody was trying to find him when he was up front. Martial just stayed up front mainly. Didn't really come that deep. Rashford was playing more as a wing-back. And again, is that the manager? Is the manager telling Rashford to do that because he wants him to cover Williams because he's not confident on Williams? That's possible. If so, the manager has to come out and say, my fault. Rashford looked bad today, but I told him to cover Williams. I wanted Williams to get some help today. Simple. Just say that. Cool. The problem is that managers like Jose was the same. Jose was mismanaging the players, mismanaging the team completely. And then this to me is the point with managers. This is why I disrespect managers to the point where I just have no respect for them at all. Really now. We've seen too much of it recently. Where managers completely get it wrong. Completely. Like with Jose, for example. Either Jose was getting it wrong, in which case he should have stepped down as manager. He shouldn't have had to have been sacked. His pride should have stepped in. I mean, he's the one who's the special one, right? So his pride should have stepped in and he should have said, no, I'm doing myself and I'm doing this club a massive disservice if I carry on performing in the way I am. So I'm going to step down there because I'm not really doing any good as I am. Or, if it's not him, but it's players, he needs to drop those players. If players aren't playing the way he's asking them to play, drop them. Simple. It's as simple as that. If for example, if Jose was telling Pogba to play in a certain way and Pogba wasn't doing it, well, okay. 2 points you have to say there. First of all, Pogba is not a defensive midfielder, not in any way, shape or form. Pogba is incredibly inactive when playing deep. You will not get the best out of him in any way, shape or form when playing deep. We know that. Now, how Jose didn't know that, I don't know. Again, the special one, not knowing that the most expensive player at the club one of the most expensive players in the world, a World Cup winner, plays better playing a certain way, but let's make him play as a defensive midfielder and blame him for when things aren't working right. That's the first point. Because you have to say, as a so-called special one, he showed that. I think the title of special one was incredibly generous. Jose, really generous. I mean, he did a good job at Chelsea. He really did. But I think he was incredibly fortunate where, the people bringing players in, they brought the right players in for him. The right players. And the players that would basically worship him and, dive through brick walls for him. When he went to Real Madrid, didn't have that, did he? And things started falling apart. When he came to United, he didn't have that. When he went back to Chelsea before coming to United, he didn't have that anymore. That was sort of gone. And he lost the players. Second season, they were awful. They couldn't do a thing. He completely lost them. Because he didn't have that. So clearly not so special. But let's get away from him a second. I was using him as an example of at United. Because Van der Sar, again, they mentioned today the only time Leicester had beaten United was the 5-2. And I've mentioned that 5-2. I mentioned that 5-2 because that was when Van Gaal was a manager. We just started the season, started really well, scoring lots of goals. Di Maria playing brilliantly up front. Very exciting to watch. The team was using these triangles and playing very quick, fast attacking football. But our defence was dodgy. We all knew that because clearly the board had not, or the Woodward, who was the one getting the players in, had not thought, well, maybe let's get some decent defenders in to cover Jones and Smalling, really, because Jones and Smalling were not ever going to be good enough. Clearly, we all knew that years beforehand. When they didn't show, because Fergie brought them through, they had tons of opportunities to improve and tons of opportunities to really, towards Fergie's latter time, to cement a place in that team because Rio and Vidic were often getting injured. So, perfect opportunity for Smalling and Jones, either one of them, to say that central defensive position is now mine. Rio and Vidic can fight for the other one because that's my position. Neither of them did that. Neither of them even really offered a option in that. Not in any way, shape or form. It was disappointing to say the least. But that's what we got. And we had that game against Leicester. We started the game strongly, but we lost the game 5-2. That showed how weak our defence was. So what did LBG do? Say, right, let's stop attacking. We've got to protect our defence now. That was a shock to him. And he went from, right, these are the plans, this is what we're going to do, to scrap that, fear. Our defence is nowhere near good enough. We have to protect our defence. Is that right? Okay, the problem is we were playing okay. That was one game. Quite a heavy loss, yeah, but one game. That was with a Leicester team that went on to win the league. So that was a rather exceptional Leicester team, really. Of course, nobody could see that at the time because this was early. It was around about October. Was it early October that season? They beat United 5-2. I think early October. But this team, this current team, no. No, as I say, Ollie has never showed. Didn't show today. Didn't show in the previous 4 or 5 games. that he's able to raise the players' performances when they start to drop. Rashford has been poor since football came back. He's been very poor, really. Overall, he's scored a goal. So what, really? He's played a couple of decent balls forward. Okay. Considering what people expect from him, and when he's playing well, considering what he can do when he's playing well, he's been poor. Martial's been okay. I wouldn't say great. In the first couple of games he was great, but since then he's dipped the same as everyone else. But again, he's dipped because of the fact that the team has got a lot more cautious. Certainly since the Palace game, the team has got a lot more cautious, and they've not been attacking anywhere near with the same vigor or pace, which means that players like Martial are going to struggle a bit. Greenwood, again, while the team was playing well, was very good. Since then, he struggled. Pogba, Bruno have struggled. But we saw today, when they are in advanced positions, they come alive. That's where they should be. Because that's where they're really good. But we know that United's defence, again, is weak. We're not incredibly weak, like Maguire today. The ball came through to him. He tried to take the ball away, completely fluffed it. But thankfully, Matic was there to clear the ball. Had Matic not been there, that would have been a fantastic goal-scoring chance for Leicester. Again, it's just Maguire just can't get his head switched on. He makes mistakes. For a team, they won't punish today for those mistakes, but in other games, they're going to be. Simple as that. And finishing third, is that going to be the thing that tells the board, well, we don't need to spend a lot of money. We don't need to bring a load of players in because we finished third. Nobody expected us to finish third at the start of the season. But nobody expected Tottenham and Arsenal to be so poor. Really, did they? Tottenham and Arsenal should have been pushing for a top four finish. Yet neither of them did. Chelsea barely made it at the end. But Chelsea have been inconsistent during the season. Tottenham have, Arsenal have. So we have as well. But thankfully, we just had those purple patches that were just enough. Just enough. And we've had the penalties that have helped us out. Now, those penalties pretty much have been deserved. As in, through good attacking play. But it's been through maybe one or two good attacking plays in the whole of the game. Masking the real performance and poor performance of the game again. So the last thing you want as a fan is really for the board to look at that and think, well, that's okay. We finished third. Third's good enough, isn't it? We're behind City and Liverpool. Well, that's not too bad, really. We're the best of the rest. Not really. Not really. We are third, so that suggests we're the best of the rest, But, the performance-wise, again, poor today. Overall, not great, really. Not great at all. I mean, Bruno was okay. He scored a penalty, And when he got forward, he did well. But he just didn't get forward enough. Same as Pogba. De Gea did okay. Wan-Bissaka, again. Not really. I mean, for him, marks out of 10, I'd give De Gea probably. I think he really had anything to do. 6. It's fine. He didn't really make a mistake. Didn't really have anything to do today. Wan-Bissaka, 6. Lindelof, But rightly, he was the best of the defence today. Yeah. Was he good enough for a 7? High 6. High 6. 6.5. Maguire, 5. Maguire, yeah, that slip again. Oh, just focus. Just focus. Yeah, Williams was okay. I wouldn't say better than okay. Okay. Yeah. But then midfield, I think Matic was again that really, really bad pass that could have ended up in a goal scoring opportunity, but thankfully it didn't. He had a few moments like that. He did play a good ball through. One of the only forward passing balls he really did play. So 5.5 for him. Pogba, he got in there. He got stuck in. He didn't do bad today. When he got forward, he did better. So again, 5.5 for him. Bruno, 6. Rashford, 5 today. Martial, he worked hard. 7 for Martial. Greenwood, again, I think Greenwood worked pretty hard. And he didn't really get anything from it, but he did work hard. So I'll give him a 6.5. Subs, 5. Mollie, I think I'll give him a 3.5. 3.5 today. Now, simply because, as I say, he wasn't able to get the players raised up for the game and, playing as if they wanted to win. Again, it was too safe, too careful again. Now, if that's not him, then he really does need to find a way to get through to the players. Because it's either his tactics that have developed the way we play, or he's not really in charge of this team. So either way, you can't give him higher than a 3.5 or 3 then. So there you go. That's my review with marks out of 10. You take care. God bless, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.